What is up, guys? It is Tyler here from Trainers to Leaders, and tonight on Card Rarity Review, I will be talking about first edition cards, Shadowless cards, and Shining Pokemon cards. The first thing that we'll be talking about, I'm just going to tell you what we're going to talk about, at least about the cards. We're going to talk about the rarity, which means how many packs you have to buy to get the card. We will also talk about the cost, then and now, from like Troll and Toad or shops or I guess online. And then we're going to talk about the sets they were in. So I think it's pretty informational, kind of helpful. Just some information I think some people should know about the TCG. I like knowing trivial stuff like this and seeing how the TCG has changed over the years and see how the cards have, I don't know, just see where they've started and how everything's just grown and come to be now. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the first edition cards. It started with base set and ended in Neo Destiny. Wizards ceased pre-planned releases and tried to get out the E-Series quicker, so they ended the first edition even faster than they planned to because their rights to Pokemon was about to be up. And Nintendo wasn't going to renew their rights for making the card game, so Wizards, instead of slowing down and wanting to release the first edition Neo Destiny cards, they pushed them out faster and started releasing the E-Series early. Just a little fun thing I found online. But the value of these cards, they're more valuable than the normal cards, obviously. But that's only because they're artificially made that way. I mean, they're not like Shadowless cards where they're an accident and they were rare because there's only a few made. These were only a few made because they were planned that way. And because of that, they were only $1 more back in the day, I believe. They were only $1 more per pack, and you could just buy them for, instead of like, I believe back in the day, they were like $3.29. You'd have to spend like $4.29, or some shops had them for like $5 or something. But nowadays, it really paid off. If you spent that $1 and you had an holo anything, it drastically increases the price. It's kind of surprising actually how much. Like I remember back when base set first came out, and there was a Charizard first edition base set, and I found it for only $36. I didn't buy it because I was only in like first grade at the time, so I couldn't afford it. But I remember me and my mom just staring at it like, wow, $36 for a little card, but now I see cards that are hundreds of dollars and I'm not even shocked. I'm like, wow, that's cool. But back in the day I remember seeing that and it was just mind-blowing, guys. But the most valuable cards aren't necessarily the most rare cards, you know? Because Charizard cards are always super valuable, but they're never that rare. But the rarity of these cards, because they're artificially made rare, because they're first edition and they only had a certain amount of release, they are quite a bit rare now. They're kind of hard to find actually. To actually find them in a shop, they're about $1 a pop per card, which is really expensive. But I got lucky and I spent, I believe, 10 cents a card on these ones. So if you can find them cheap out and about, I would get them. But that just means first edition, every card is a little bit harder to find. Just because they made it that way. But my memories back in the day with these cards, I always wanted them, but I never bought them because if I could squeeze off and shave off $1 and get more packs by not buying first edition packs, if I had like $20 for example, and I wanted as many packs as I could probably only get 4 packs if I were to get first edition. But if I don't know, that's rough math and bad taxes and everything, but I would always just buy the normal packs just so I could get more. But here are some first edition cards I found in my room laying around. Pretty nice cards from Gym Heroes. I really enjoy these cards. And you can just see the first edition right there on the trainer cards, and on the Pokemon cards it's right there. And there's such a thing called Ghost first edition, where it doesn't really have this mark. It looks like it's smudged off or very, very lightly printed, like a light gray print. It's very cool. And here is one of my favorite cards, Giovanni's Persian, first edition. So what do you think about first edition cards, guys? And if you ever come by them, guys, don't spend I don't like to spend over $3 on a first edition card. I bought this for 75 cents, and that is exactly what I like to spend on holos. I like to spend $1, but that's because I'm cheap, and I can typically find cards for that much. I understand that not everybody can find cards like that, but I look around all the time and I find them. So if you come by them at a good price, I say pick them up. Like I said, first edition are just artificially rare, but because of that, they are expensive now and they are harder to come by. Alright guys, on the second type of cards we're going to talk about today are Shadowless cards. They are very, very cool and elusive. We actually just found these the other day in Ashley's collection, her personal collection at home. She must have got this in a deck or something because she had quite a bit of Shadowless cards. Shadowless are, I guess, way more rare. I remember hearing about them when I was a kid, but we can never ever find them. I mean, they were just so elusive, and I remember seeing some when I was a kid and being absolutely just confused why there was so much more money. I was just like, it's just a shadow, why does it even matter? But now I understand that it's way rare. I mean, it's an accidental thing, unlike the first edition, obviously. And being that's like a whole different kind of like a first edition. That's like first edition misprint. And because of that, they're very hard to find, harder than first edition to find. And they are priced very expensive. And up until probably a few years ago, they were priced mediumly well, but then everybody started getting back into Pokemon, I swear, and man, now Charizards are going for like $1,000 or something like that. Shadowless is just absurd. But the rarity of them, like I said, is just because you can't buy them anymore. They're only released in the first few sets, so they are very, very hard to find. Very, very cool cards though, knowing that they are, you can see the difference. See small details like the bolding of the font and the shadow missing, and then you can see what everybody always talks about. See where it says 99? Non-shadowless cards, let's see if it'll focus on. There it is, see? No 99, just 98. Very cool, guys. Well, I'll show you a small collection of my shadowless cards. Or Ashley's Shadowless cards, or our Shadowless cards. I love this one, guys. Nidorino Shadowless, so sweet. Then here's our first edition Shadowless. This is an error Pikachu because it's blue. I believe it's supposed to be black in the set. And I think it's from Jungle. I could be wrong. There's no Jungle print, but... And a Machop. And then here is our Pride and Joy, as I'm sure you know. Shadowless Blastoise. Base set. Very nice, very decent, very good condition, or pretty good condition at least. It is a little played, but for a base set, Shadowless, I'll take it. Alrighty guys. And my memories with the Shadowless cards, I can never, ever find them as a kid. Never. And if I could, they were just... I didn't want to spend the money on the cards. Why spend extra money when I could buy more packs, you know? It just didn't make sense to me as a kid. Alrighty, and the last packs we're going to talk about today on CRR is Shining Pokemon. Now, the first Shining Pokemon were released in Neo Revelation, I believe. And it was with Magikarp and Gyarados. These are the first two to start it all. These were secret rare cards, as you can see, 65 and 66 out of 64. We just got these cards not too long ago and I love them. Oh man, they are just in mint condition. Gorgeous cards. And I'm hoping they're pretty, not that valuable. We got this one for $12, this one for $20. And they're shining. I just love shining Magikarp being gold and shining Gyarados. Everyone has that memory of playing silver or gold for the first time and seeing the shining Gyarados in the Lake of Rage and just being mind blown at the red Gyarados. It was intense, guys. Absolutely amazing. When these cards were released first, actually, in Japan, they were going for $300, just because we were just like, what? Off-colored Magikarp, off-colored Gyarados? What is this? So they were priced just absurdly high. But after they were released in English, they did drop back down to the $50 range, and with the decline of the Pokemon craze, they dropped price over the years, and now they are actually starting to rise again. And some are seeking $12, $20, and like Charizard is seeking $130 plus just for near mint. So thinking about that, guys, if you ever come across one, maybe you should pick it up if it's a reasonable price. The rarities of them are, like I said, secret rares, so it's very hard to find them even in packs. I would say if you bought packs now, it would be 1 in 36 or 1 in 72 packs. It would just be very difficult, because I bet all the packs are weighed that are existing now. There might not be some, I don't know. It's tough to say. I've never opened any myself and pulled any. I wish that would be a dream come true. Back in the day, there were about 2 per booster box, so if you can get a sealed booster box, then you're settled. But if they're just loose packs, you're not going to have very much luck. They've always been rare since, I guess, release. They've always been elusive, always been wanted, and always been collected. They are beautiful cards. As a business standpoint, these things are very, very hard to come by. I ask the local shops that we go to all the time, I'm like, hey, do you have shining cards? Shining Pokemon? Nope, they never do, guys, never do. And I ask my friend Bobby, who actually works at Dragon's Lair, I say, hey Bobby, how often do you think shining cards come in? And he says maybe once every month or 2. That is pretty rare. They're just being kept, guys. If you find them in good condition, they're just being collected. I mean, how do you not like these cards? Look at that reflective foil released in this set, and as you can see, there is the 3-star on this. Here, let me focus that. The 3-star rarity versus just the normal 1-star rarities. But very cool. Still a secret rare. Just changed it to make it look a little cooler. But like I said, rarely seen in shops. So whenever I see them, I try to get them now. Now that I am starting to understand how rare and special these cards truly are. And if you ever see any of them anywhere, guys, if it's reasonably priced, you can just do a quick Google search. They're just amazing cards to look at, and me and Ashley could not be happier to have them in our collection. And my memories with the shinies, I just remember seeing, my first shiny I've ever saw was a shiny Magikarp when I was like 12 years old. And that was when Pokemon was dying, and it wasn't half as cool as it was back when I was like 8 years old, but when I saw this card, I just thought it got me back into the Pokemon game. I tried Ruby and Sapphire after this, and then I bought Fire Red and Leaf Green because I wanted to play again and get Gyarados and see what Pokemon was about. It got me into the game because of this special card. Just look how great this card is. I love it. And how you care for them, guys, is I carefully don't even touch the sides. I don't touch the foil either. I always just touch the non-foil part of the card, carefully put it in a sleeve, and then put it in a top loader. And then I don't take them out of here if they're safe. And I would say mint condition, or like 9 out of 10. As you can see, there's not any smudges anywhere on the card. Me and Ashley take very good care of our cards because not only are they great to collect, but they are also an investment, because I want to keep these cards forever, guys. I really love every one of my cards that I buy, especially when they're shining or like base set or Charizard when I get from a friend. Why would I ever want to sell these? These are all so special to me. So that's why you should also pick them up, because a lot of collectors are like me and just keeping them and never putting them out there again. I mean, I could trade in the future, but you know, you can never tell if you're gonna do that. If I would have to say, out of the 3 types of cards, First Edition, Shadowless, or Shining, which is the most valuable, I would say first edition Shadowless would be the most valuable. That being said, the most valuable does not mean always the most rare, because, like I said, an example, Charizard. Look at all the Charizard cards. They're not necessarily rare, but Charizard, Mega Charizard X or Y is worth more than all these Shining cards, which is absurd to me. But I would say if they're the most rare card overall, would probably Shadowless. Shadowless cards overall are the most rare. I see first edition in shops all the time. I see Shining cards way more often than I've seen any Shadowless. I've seen one Shadowless in a card shop, and I bought it that day because I was just blown away. I was like, what? Shadowless in a shop? What is this? So yeah, guys, please comment in the comment section down below which 3 of these types of cards do you like the best? Do you like first edition, Shadowless, or Shining? Personally, I am a Shining guy. I am really just loving this reflective foil. It is just growing on me, and me and Ashley have just got the shiny bug lately, and we've just been trying to find them as often as we can. Well, affordably, of course. But please tell me if you enjoyed this series. I'm more than eager to do another episode. I love talking about Pokemon cards, and talking to you guys is just my favorite thing to do, so be sure to like this video. Let me get some feedback. Tell me what I can do to improve. Follow us on Twitter at Trainer2Leader. Follow Ash on Twitter at LeaderAsh. Thanks for watching, guys. Tyler out. Peace.